Guys, when choosing your property manager, there are important decisions that need to be considered and made up front. An example we've had highlighted in the last week with all of these weather conditions with floods and storms, a great property manager's true colours have really come out. We're going to give you a shining example this morning. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Leo Whittier, expert property manager. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Good. And Claire, we can't go any further without paying respect for our National Day of Mourning today, and all the flags are at half mast and paying our respects to everyone mourning.
Yes, agreed. All the people that are down in Bondi today, respectfully mourning 1 month of the Bondi attacks. Our hearts go to all the family and victims, involved.
Where Australia comes together. I think there's something going on this evening at Opera House as well. So we'll be watching that this evening and paying our respects. But Cleo, this morning the weather the weather's been. If weather was a child, it would be a naughty child in the last month and a half. What's happened to our summer?
Exactly. And we went from that real extreme hot day, 40 plus degrees. It was like a heat wave. And then it's just four seasons in one day. The next day it was freezing cold and, it started to pour with rain. Yes, it can be devastating in a rental property when you have flood or roof leaks or anything to do with water. We've experienced a lot of requests over the last 2 weeks. We're going to talk about it today.
And having an agent that really knows their stuff is a little bit like having laser beam in your glasses. A good agent can see around corners before the corners arrive. They can minimise loss for a landlord. And I do have to say, we've even got some examples in the last week where we've had some phenomenal tenants doing the same thing, minimising loss and doing the right thing.
It's true. And when you're in a unit block, strata was closed up until last Monday. So when all this went down, all of the strata companies were closed. In a particular instance where we had a flood from a unit above into our property, I was coaching the strata manager on what to do because they were a junior in the office just taking the calls. So I was trying to help, obviously, our client, but I also had to let the strata people know what to do when it came down to moving quickly with water, especially, and how to contact insurance and the insurance claim and all of that goes with it, which we'll dissect in a moment.
Yeah, what people don't realise with water is when the grade of water actually changes, or the classification of water changes once it actually goes through a journey, or depending on where it's from. So if it's a burst hot water pipe, it's clear water. But as soon as that burst hot water pipe travels over a floor, through a slab, or over a floor, or through a slab, or through cabinetry, or through a ceiling, it gets classified as grey water. Once something's actually grey water and it's in your carpet, it simply can't be just cleaned. It's generally replaced. So there's lots of things where I think a great property manager will identify that classification with an insurance company, and they'll say, there's no chance you're going to be just cleaning that carpet. You're going to be replacing that carpet. That is grey water or black water.
It's true. It's a contamination, and you got to have a forensic clean just to, keep everything hygienic. But then the process of restoration comes into it, and like you said, you can't just clean grey water, contaminated water. I wouldn't want to be walking around in someone's toilet water from upstairs. So you are definitely going to need to have that carpet replaced. Whenever there is a leak and it's associated with damage, it's, you know, as soon as you find out from the tenant, the stopwatch is on. You're in that race to minimize the owner's loss, and then you have to act quickly. You need someone that can make decisions quickly. An owner is relying on the property management team to know what to do in these situations, which we do. We have amazing in-house cleaning products, restoration equipment that has saved our landlords thousands. We have dryers, we have dehumidifiers, we have water extraction machines. And that is crucial, especially in an event like we've just had when there's only 2 or 3 companies and they're all going to different properties, all different agencies.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that really helped a lot of our clients during this period. You know, we were able to split our forces and have people right there and then to start getting the water out. You brought up earlier the tenants. We've had some great tenants that can help minimize loss as well. When water's coming through, put buckets underneath. They use all their towels, like they get really proactive in trying to help. And that's crucial as well.
And also preventative, I think, with insuring, making sure you've got the right insurance. Who is your insurance? Have you had any sort of particular good and bad sort of experiences when it comes to insuring correctly, and which companies
Yeah.
you're using and things like? Any shout outs of your favorite insurer?
Look, to be fair, a lot of the leaks that do happen in apartments, and that should be covered under the strata building insurance. Strata will sometimes try and get the owner to pay for things, and then you're paying your levies, you're paying for those insurances. You really need to be forceful in what outcome is made with strata and putting that claim through. But the big guys, Terry Shear, are always amazing. They're very, very thorough. Their claim process has always been the same. And you lost you under the comment banner there.
Yeah,
Is that
old nin-
Lisa? I can't see.
old ninja finger. Lisa has been complaining the last 6 months that she's got RSI in her finger, and I was
From
like, "Do you know which finger that is?" And she's like, "No." I said, "That's the finger that you do all that with. Look at that. Look at that."
Ninja.
But yeah, no, it's Terry. So Terry Shearer will be your tenancy insurance. Do they do building insurance as well?
I think they specialize in tenancy insurance, but building
Right.
insurance, NRMA are really good, double AMI, all the originals, they are good. They do follow a process. We're not insurance, staff. We're not trained in insurance, but we've done this enough to make us know what to look for, experienced in knowing what we need to get to them straight away, like videos, photographs, all the stuff that they want. To go towards that claim, and a timeline of events. You definitely need a timeline of events. They also require the trades that are attending to create a report. So we're putting a lot of trust in the trades as well. They're going out. Deegan, our plumber, he'll go out and tell us exactly what the cause was. If it's not him, it's to a builder, and you've got to add pressure when it's a strata trade person, because sometimes it'll just roll over and take a bit of time, but you've got to keep hammering them and asking them, where are you at with that? Has the builder gone? Has the builder gone? Has the builder gone? Because insurance need that recommendation before they even restore, which is why
Yeah.
our office package and equipment's so good.
And also, I think everyone's got to make sure they're looking after themselves. So I think sometimes as a landlord, you just assume that the insurer is going to act in your best interest, and the assessor is going to act in your best interest, not the insurer's. But you really got to make sure you got your back covered, because these guys coming through are often trying to minimise the loss as an insurer. So
Mhm.
they're trying to not the loss, the claim. So it's
Yeah.
like, no, 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 no. You've got to replace that carpet. And when a property manager knows their shit or a landlord knows their stuff, that's really important. It could be the difference of money out of your pocket or their pocket. What's Lisa got to say this morning? Can you read that?
I can't. I haven't got my good glasses on. Hang on.
I scratch my head when a landlord go to agencies with cheap management fees. Imagine a disaster happening in there now. The property managers weren't even working at the time. You get what you pay for. Isn't that true? Even just operating hours, I think is
Mhm.
super important when you're considering your agents in there as well. Um,
Definitely. And a junior is not going to know what to do in this event. They're not going to know that you need a forensic clean. They're not going to know a lot of the things that we know that we've dealt with over time, 15, 20 years of leaks. Like we know what we're doing. So it is very important. And that whole yeah, the fee, the fee shaving. I don't even want to go there this morning because it
get what
really
you pay
irks.
for, guys. I had a landlord contact me during this period as their property managers were not available. There you go.
Yep, same with Strata. They're all on holidays, and every time I've spoken with landlords over this time, they go, "Oh, I didn't know you were in." I'm like, I've been in for 15 years. We're always open during Christmas. I'm available to take your call.
It,
So, of
it's
course.
simple stuff. Like if I was sitting in a presentation presenting our services to a landlord and I said, and I have to say we're open during Christmas, as a landlord, I'd be like, who cares? Like, yeah, whatever. But look at that. Look at that. Now, Lisa's got more to say this morning. Mark, that's my pointer finger. I use it to point at you.
That's why
Yeah.
she's always pointing at me.
Yeah,
Gold.
it's true. It's true. But Cleo, is just before we go, there's two things in preparation I want to mention. I want to mention to landlords. Don't assume your agent is going to pay your property insurance. Check your agent has paid your property insurance. If it's a strata property, you don't have to check because your strata
Building.
manager, military style, will have that paid. If it is a house, please make sure you've gone back on the last 12 months of your statements and you can see an ID where the insurance was paid. Then you know it's paid, and then you know you're okay for the following year. I have had clients lose properties. Have had clients lose properties that didn't realize that for 5 or 10 years they weren't even paying their
Insurance. Yeah.
insurance, and just it's just one of those things that they just assumed and thought that it was just coming out of their account. So always check that you're insured properly in these sort of events.
Yep, totally agree with all of that. And in the event of houses, yes, you're exposed as the landlord, so it's very important to have those insurances. We haven't even discussed, relocation costs. Sometimes it can be that extreme. Your tenant can't stay in the property. You're paying for their Airbnb. You're paying for their rent, and if you don't have that landlord insurance, it can be really, really costly. So
It can,
yeah.
yeah. So, if guys and girls, if you've got any questions, always feel free to give us a call and ask us direct. It's a free call. And then if you ever want us to cover any other areas of real estate or topics, let us know as well, and we'll do a live for you like this on a topic that you want to know about.
And if love your tenant, guys out there that has helped with all this stuff that we've discussed. It is annoying when you've got a leak, any kind of leak. So yeah, special mention to our beautiful tenants that help in that situation.
Buy them a box of chocolate and put their rent up.
Don't do that. Maybe the chocolate's not the rent. Bye.
Have a great day. See ya. Thanks, Cleo. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.